For thousands of years, the Bosphorus Straits have been a vital link on the trade routes between Europe, Asia, and Africa. From the Orient came silk and spices, and from North Africa, wheat, nuts, and dried fruit. It was a trade that generated tremendous wealth for the city which was once known as Constantinople. Here in Istanbul, East meets West. And in this fascinating city, which was once awash with spies and mysterious celebrities like Mata Hari and Agatha Christie and Greta Garbo, lives for food. Whether it's a simple grilled mackerel sandwich or an imperial gastronomic dinner evolved from 600 years dynasty of the Ottoman Empire, it is absolutely exquisite. Of course, the correct way to come here is by the Orient Express, but sadly, Istanbul is no longer the ultimate destination for that fabled train. Anyway, I'm off ashore and spend a couple of days on the Tyne with guidebook and frying pan in hand, and then I'm going down to Dalian to south, to a resort where the Aegean meets the Mediterranean to shake off a bit of the city excesses. The former capital of three empires, Roman, Byzantine and Ottoman, Istanbul is unlike any other European city. The classic Arab architecture of mosques built during the Ottoman period dominate the city's skyline. The Imperial Mosque is more commonly known as the Blue Mosque because of its magnificent interior made up of over 20,000 blue and white Iznik tiles. Turkey is an Islamic state, of course, but it's very tolerant towards non-Muslim visitors who are welcome to wander through mosques even during prayer, which takes place 5 times a day. Surrounded by sea, it's hardly surprising that fish and seafood is an essential part of the diet here in Istanbul. Well, this is Fish Street, and they don't know me, but you're up there. Okay, well, look, you're wonderful, thank you. I must just try and get along a little bit here. Hi, I'm good, nice to see you.
I think this is better, yeah, isn't it?
I think it's excellent. As you can see, walking through Fish Street is a very slow process, as all the restaurant owners are ready and waiting for you, determined to shake your hand and persuade you to sit at one of their tables. I will. Okay, thanks
We
a lot.
Brits are made of sterner stuff.
Thank you.
Ever onwards.
Oh, here. There's a wonderful atmosphere here, with big groups of people eating and drinking and music and dancing. But how good is the food, I hear you cry? Well, as your fearless food critic, I'll order up some nosh and I'll tell you exactly what I think of it. I've ordered some squid and mackerel as appetizers, and then some grilled bass and red mullet for a main course. I have a fresh bass, so they say. And here I have some little red mullet. Interestingly, of course, Turkey isn't in the EU, but then nor is Spain, but they all still catch totally undersized fish in these waters. I think the only big ones that grow are under the nuclear power station in the Black Sea just over there. Now, quite frankly, for a street of 65 fish restaurants, this is terribly disappointing. The fish is stale, it's not well cooked, and actually, well, you'll come here because you have to, because the music's fun, the people are fantastic, the atmosphere is brilliant, the temperature is soaring, but as Fats Waller said, fish was my favorite dish. Up to now, I've never tasted Turkish wine, but there's always a first time. Tastes a little bit of pine trees, a little bit like Retsina. This one isn't very nice, but it doesn't really matter because I've got some Raki here, which apparently is Viagra in a glass, I'm being told. And of course, Spain is in the EU, it's just they don't follow the rules. This crazy, ramshackle, friendly city of Istanbul is a city that lives to eat. The takeaways, the street vendors, the restaurants all provide exquisite, tasty, interesting food. I'm interpreting some Turkish dishes today, and we're going to start with some Bosphorus bass. One of the important things in Turkish cuisine is something called filo pastry. It's very, 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 very thin pastry. You put a piece of bass on there. The other things that they like here are pistachio nuts. So you load a load of pistachio nuts onto the fillet of bass. You put in some lovely sun-dried currants. You put in some wonderful chopped up sun-dried sultanas. You put in some fresh mint. Okay, now it's a very vexed thing. Back to me, please, Steve. Very vexed thing about fresh and dry mint. That was a crash outside. That happens all the time. Fresh mint is fragrant and lovely. Dried mint is really pungent and powerful. It's up to you what you use, but sometimes go with the dried. Okay, a couple of slices of lemon and a little pat of butter just to make it moist. So I'm not wearing plastic gloves. And a fillet of fish back on the top. Then we roll, there's another bang over there, our filo pastry like that, and make a small packet.
Then I'll just paint the pastry with melted butter and pop them into the oven. I've also made a roux to go with my sea bass of flour, butter, lemon juice, beaten eggs and dried mint.
Now, continuing our Turkish theme, which is the use of nuts and fruit in cooking, I have beaten out a breast of chicken, very thin like an escallop, okay? So the very first thing we're going to do with that is fill it with pistachio nuts, very famous in these parts, and again, an essential part of Turkish cooking, some fresh mint. Plus some local cheese, which is a highly meltable kind of cheese, and then we roll this up a little bit like a chicken Kiev, simply like that. We fix it with a little wooden skewer. We dredge it into some flour. Shake it off and pop it into this pan here, where I've already got a couple starting to sizzle.
Now I'm going to flame the chicken with some raki to add some bite to the dish.
Then we're going to add some cashew nuts into that raki and butter and olive oil and fry them a little bit. Steve, I've got to come behind you. You stay where you are or do whatever you like to do. Dancing. Shall we do dancing? Then we're going to put some orange segments into that. Then we're going to put some orange juice into that.
Then we'll let that simmer gently for 10 minutes and then remove the chicken pieces.
Now this lovely juices from the chicken and the orange juice and the sake, or the raki, and some butter, we're whisking that to thicken it up a little bit and make ourselves a spectacularly creamy, fruity, oriental sauce.
If I do say so myself, a stunning sea bass dish in filo pastry served with a tangy mint sauce. And a pan-fried chicken stuffed with cheese and pistachio nuts and served with delicious orange sauce. At the end of a hot and sticky day, a Turkish bath is a must. The idea was founded by the Ottomans as public baths, and there are over 100 hammams still in use in Istanbul alone. The central marble slab, called the belly slab, is heated from below by a big wood fire. Then you just assume a position and lie back to enjoy a sort of soapy massage from head to toe. Mixed bathing is strictly taboo. In fact, if a man was discovered entering the women's bath, the penalty used to be death. This is a highly macho experience and nothing to do with those bizarre rendezvous of curious spies in the 30s and the 50s during the Cold War.
This is absolutely exceptional. After 3 or 4 hot, sweaty days and 3 or 4 very hot, sweaty nights here in Istanbul, one of these every day is absolutely essential. And when you're lying on your back, looking through the holes in the dome ceiling, you're looking straight into heaven. It's a very Byzantine or even Renaissance kind of experience. It's just sensational. More.
Enough of the hectic city life. I've left Istanbul and come south to the charming little town of Dalian, which sits on a riverbank just a mile or so from the Med. Although just 20 minutes from the Dalian airport and at the heart of the tourist-developed southwest region of Turkey, Dalian has made modest concessions to the annual influx of visitors searching for 2 weeks in the sun, but the bars and restaurants are fun, and there's always somewhere to visit and things to do that will keep you amused.
This, as you can see, is a mud bath. And it's very good if you have a bad liver. Now, contrary to popular opinion, I don't have a bad liver, but I do have sciatica, and they assure me that if you cover yourself with this twice a day for a week, all your ailments will be cured. So we shall see. Apparently, can you give me a hand, darling? Thank you. Also, it's a very nice class of bird here. I have to say that this whole Turkish experience is really quite outstanding, with Turkish bars and mud bars and massages, good food, lots to drink. Beautiful scenery. I'll use that as a mirror for a moment, thanks. Right, we go out and dry off now, is the idea. Where do I put that gin and tonic?
Well, I feel invigorated, but I'm not sure whether that was down to the mud bath or to the drink. The waterways surrounding Dalian are well used, ferrying hordes of tourists down to the beach. But the delta is also a source of food. They breed fish here, mainly mullet and bass. The busy gatekeeper allows the boat through, but keeps the fish firmly at bay. But the beach is the main attraction, and is a hotbed of activity during the day and at night.
This is Istanbul beach on the Mediterranean Turkish coast, and as you can see, it's spectacularly beautiful. But there are no hotels, no restaurants, no clubs, no discotheques. How come? Well, it's for a very good reason. At night, certain times of the year, the Loggerhead turtle turns up here and lays its eggs. So when, in 1986, some developers wanted to spend millions of dollars here building a resort, giving much-needed jobs to local residents, the environmentalists campaigned against it, and they won, which is absolutely terrific. So now what happens, the tourists are kept in prescribed lines on the beach, and they mustn't dig into the beach, put stakes in or umbrellas or anything of that kind, and wardens patrol the place to make sure that nothing goes wrong. And at night, when the turtles come up and lay their eggs, if they lay them below the waterline, the wardens spot them. When the turtles have gone, dig up the eggs and rebury them safely above the waterline. A charming and a happy story.
At night, the female loggerhead turtle crawls up the beach to the soft sand above the tide mark. Using her powerful hind flippers, she digs a hole some 18 inches deep, into which she'll lay about 120 eggs. The hole is refilled, and after 60 days or so, the hatchlings surface and make their way back down to the beach and to the ocean. Heading back inland, you can't travel far before you come across a roadside cafe of some sort, and I can never resist them. Oh, that should let them know I've arrived.
But this is what I enjoy about Turkey, is street food. These wonderful thin pancakes, covered in cheese, with freshly chopped parsley, a little bit of onion, salt and pepper, possibly a bit of chilli, folded over and whacked onto the old charcoal grill there. Paprika, yeah. So that one's got cheese, onions, parsley, paprika, folded over, twizzled up on the stick, and flipped so adroitly onto the grill. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, more of this later. I'm off.
Popular with locals and tourists is a place called Saklıkent, which translated means hidden paradise. This natural wild canyon is a perfect place to have a paddle and then a bite to eat.
Both the Greeks and the Turks claim to have invented the hors d'oeuvre, or metzes as they're called here. Certainly the French copied it from them. The sort of thing you'd expect to get in a simple country restaurant or a simple taverna by way of starters could be yogurt with chilies, an eggplant salad with tomatoes and onions, or a little fish salad. This is a crab salad with tomato, little pieces of grilled swordfish with some rice, obviously olives, always olives, mushroom stuffed with cheese, garlic and tomato chili dip, and little cheese-filled cigars, which go very nicely with the spicy dip. But the star of the whole thing, these little pancakes made from wheat flour and stuffed with parsley, little pieces of meat, and cooked over a charcoal fire on a metal dome. Absolutely splendid. This one's a cheese one. And they're absolutely delicious. Good.
Travelling up through the mountains along the Dalian River, another tourist attraction awaits. Just around the corner.
Normally, my idea of a holiday is under a shady veranda, not too far from the barbecue and pretty close to the bar. And for me, this is a real first.
And quite possibly a last. My fellow thrill seekers are starving, so it's time to rustle up some lunch.
There are two essential things to the perfect barbecue. One is careful preparation, and two is having a really good fire. It's worth looking at this even before we start, please, Steve. When the coals are grey or white like that, that is the only time you can start cooking. Okay? Right. Cooking. All around here there are wild quail, and one of the farmers we know shot me a couple or netted me a couple this morning, and I cook a little dish of quail stuffed with rice, which has been first of all fried in olive oil, then it's had cinnamon added to it, and a little bit of garlic, and cooked in chicken stock, which is the Turkish way of cooking rice. So I'm going to put in some chopped walnuts, like so, and then the other boned out quail. Then we wrap it in vine leaves. Then we wrap it up into tin foil. Like so. And whack it onto the barbecue. Here, by the way, at the same time, I have a leg of mountain lamb stuffed all over with cloves of garlic, just grilling away on these lovely coals. Now, for people who don't like meat, here's a lovely kebab, a very simple one. Segments of onion, tomato, eggplant or aubergine, peppers, just simply arranged like that, and they've been marinated in olive oil and thyme. So we'll just pop those onto the grill. Flames are a bad thing, but that's just the oil dripping off them and the flames will disappear in a short while. Then here, these are rather good ones too. They're very simple. Pieces of lamb, pieces of onion, pieces of lamb fat, lamb, onion, lamb fat, onion, and some lemon wedges. Again, just marinated in olive oil with some thyme. Or you could put rosemary, any herbs, any dried herbs that you like. Pop those onto there. Now, for three classic accompaniments to a super barbecue. First, yogurt, okay? One lot of yogurt. We put in some tomato puree or some tomato sauce, it's up to you. I'm using puree. And whisk that into that. And then flake in this wonderful turkey chili flakes, Turkish chili flakes. Lots, that's hot. It's really hot and good. That's one of them. The second one is again yogurt and some leaves of rocket. Popped in and stirred in, along with some dill, some parsley, and finally some shredded cucumber, which I've had in this little sieve covered in salt so all the liquid has drained out of it. And that is the last thing that goes into this yogurt salad to go with your kebabs, your roast lamb, your quail, or your vegetable brochettes. Then the classic simple salad. Little pieces of tomato and cucumber and spring onion, which I've had in here soaking in salt so that it's nice and dry when we chuck it into here. Let me give that a stir around. Again with lots and lots of parsley. Lots of parsley. And then a very simple dressing of lemon juice, lots of lemon juice, lots of garlic, lots of dill, and this little thing which I'm so proud of, I waited months for this. Put that into there, and then finally some olive oil. Whack that over the lot. And mix well in. There are three refreshing, tangy, spicy, healthy, above all else, unbelievably really healthy accompaniments to simply grilled meat and vegetables. The best way, really, you can cook, particularly here in the Mediterranean.
So my Turkish travels are at an end. It's time to pack my bags, because I'm off to France.